Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. I have got the boatless angler with me today. We are out here on the Bay of Quinte. Antonio's just rigging up now. This time I beat him to the punch. I got my line in the water. And I'd like to dedicate this episode to the two fellows I met last October at the Hay Bay launch here at the Bay of Quinte. Two nice fellows, and filmed a beautiful episode in October and lost all the footage. So this episode is dedicated to you two folks. Sorry I couldn't remember your name, but if you're tuning in, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to run the same bait. I'm going to use the flexi-jig. And when I was talking to them, I was using the chartreuse. So I'm opening up with the chartreuse flexi-jig right now. And as you know, when you set the hook on the flexi-jig, the hook actually flexes down, changing the angle of the hook set. So you got a direct hook set all the time. That's the beauty of the flexi-jig. And last October, I was running twister tails, a more aggressive lure. I might switch to twisters, but right now I'm using a brown, it's almost a goby type imitating bait because of a lot of gobies around. So I'm going to open up with that at least. And it's also the second day of a cold front, so I'm using a less aggressive bait. But I may switch to a twister tail as time goes on and the fish get a little more aggressive. So glad you could join me, folks. It's a gorgeous day. We're hoping to get into some walleye. That's our primary target, but you never know. You might get hooked into some other species as well. But we're looking for walleye today, so glad you could join us. That feels like a sheephead.
Really?
I don't know, but if it's a walleye, it's a nice one. What a good hit, folks. Just bouncing that flexi jig off the bottom. But you should get ready with the net just in case, Antonio, because it might be a nice walleye.
Sheephead, you don't want me to net it? Is that what you're saying?
No, if it's a sheephead, you can net it too.
All right.
Oh, what a good hit though. Just bouncing that flexi jig just off the bottom. We're in 16 feet of water right now. And he just hit it hard. So that subtle approach looks like it's paying off, Antonio. We shall see. It's fighting way too much to be a walleye, but you never know. Sometimes those walleye give you a good struggle. But this feels like...
Wow.
I have no idea what we got here, Antonio, but we'll see. You never know, folks, when you're using, when you're jigging, you never know what you're going to hook into. I'll tell you right now, if it's a walleye, it's a real good one. Now, I am jigging with braided line. I love to use the braided line and, of course, a fluorocarbon leader. That's my number one choice because there's no line stretch and you got a direct hook set between you and the fish, which is perfect when you're jigging or if you're using live bait. My second choice for jigging or live bait would be 100% fluorocarbon line. My last choice would be mono. I like to use mono if I'm using crankbaits, gives a little more stretch, but not for jigging. I have no idea. This is unbelievable.
It's taking forever.
I can't believe it. I can't get him in. He keeps taking a run. Oh, I just saw my leader line for a second. I don't see the fish though. I see the leader, but I don't see the fish.
Oh, I got a glimpse of him.
It looks like a big sheephead to me.
It's huge.
It looks like Mr. Drummer Boy. Okay, let's get this sheephead in the boat.
Wow,
It's a good sheephead. That's a
holy cow.
Look at the size of that sheephead. If I can get him in. What a battle. Oh boy. Oh, these guys are fun to catch. Oh, okay, Antonio, here he comes.
Wow.
Got him in the bag.
That's a good fish.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's get this flexi jig out. And let's get Mr. Drummer Boy. Oh, it's a good fish. Oh boy.
Wow.
There's a freshwater drum for you, I'll tell you.
That's a nice one.
Look at that fish. That is one beautiful fish. No wonder he took me forever to get him in. Wow. Oh, let's get him back in. What a beauty. Okay. And away he goes. Well, thanks, Antonio. That wasn't a walleye, but definitely worth netting.
Yeah.
And how's my jig? Any worse for wear?
Looks pretty good.
I think we're in good shape. We're gonna get it right back out there again. Big sheephead or what?
I don't know.
I gotta tell you, I caught a couple of sheephead after that last one. And Antonio said, I'm gonna switch to a flexi-jig as well. And what, second cast?
Sheephead.
There you go. Sheephead. But you put the white twister on.
Yeah.
So that's a little more aggressive approach with that white twister tail. So maybe because it's the second day after the cold front that these fish have basically started to come alive a bit. So I'm gonna stick with my bait though. A little smaller than one I caught, Antonio.
Quite a bit smaller.
Still though, at least you're on the board.
Yep.
There you go. That doesn't look very big though.
Maybe it's a perch.
What do you got, a perch?
Maybe.
No sir, that's not a perch.
It's a perch-sized walleye.
There you go. Well, hey, look at that. He took that aggressive twister.
Yeah. Oh wow, he's small.
Little fingerling, look at that.
Nice.
Good, healthy sign. Okay, now we just need him a little bit bigger, eh?
Maybe 4 times that.
Oh boy, folks. Let's hope it's not another sheephead, but we just drifted in. We're in 16 feet of water here now, and he's running, so I have a funny feeling it's another sheephead. Boy, he's running pretty good. Oh, maybe it's not a sheephead. But we get a little concerned. We're getting close to that shoreline. We got all rocks there. Wow, what is it? Okay, maybe I'm gaining on him now. Antonio, I might need you to land this fish.
And then you want me to reel it?
It might be another big sheephead. Or who knows, maybe it's a muskie or a pike. I don't know. This is... gave me a really good hit though, I'll tell you that. Oh, and I'll show you. I know, I can't believe it. He's just taking off. What is it? I'd like to see him. That's the thing, a lot of times. You get a fish, you're wondering what it is, and you lose them. Then you're always wondering, what on earth was that? I'm gonna have to fire up the boat. We gotta get away from Antonio. This is another sheephead.
Monster?
Another big one. Oh yeah. It's another big, it's another big sheephead. Not as big as that last one, but
Still pretty big.
still pretty big. Oh,
I
look at that. Let's get a weight on him just for the fun of it. Let me just fire up the boat and get away from those rocks. But let's get a quick weight on that fish. With the net, it's 10-10, 10-11. So 10-11 with the net. Let's let him go and then we'll weigh the net. So I'm gonna say he's at least 9 pounds, that sheephead. There you go. All right, and a quick weight on the net. Let's see what the net weighs. Yeah, the net weighs 2.5 pounds. So 10 minus 2, 8, about 8 pounds. Not a bad size sheephead. I think that first one was bigger. Okay, so the technique we're using, we got a little bit of a drift going, so we're jigging with the drift. I've got my jig on the bottom, and what I'm doing is I'm jigging it up, letting it fall back down, but letting it fall on a controlled slack line. So in other words, your line is limp on the fall. And the reason for that is you're gonna jig it up and then it's gonna fall straight down because your line is limp. It's allowing the jig to fall straight down as opposed to falling on an angle. And it's that straight drop that triggers the hits. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it on a controlled slack. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm watching the line. As my jig's going down, I'm keeping an eye on my line, because if you see your line twitch, stop, jump to the side, anything out of the ordinary, just set the hook right away, because chances are that's a hit. So that's the technique. It seems to be working today. I wish we had a little more wind. It keeps coming and going, but it's certainly a beautiful day, and we're hoping to get into some more fish. That's a major league hook set. What do you got, a major league sheephead?
I think so.
He's fighting like a sheephead.
It's really heavy.
Oh, I got one too.
Double header?
Got a double going here. Oh boy, what do we got here? Got a double going here. Oh, this is sheephead heaven here, I think. If it's a sheephead, but we'll see. Who's got the net? I got the net here, so maybe.
Want to get yours in first?
Okay, I'll get
Okay.
mine in first. Let's see what we got here. Yep. I'll just land them like this. Okay. And you got a sheephead. We're in the sheephead zone.
Wow.
That's a good one. Here you go, Antonio. All right. All right, you win, Antonio. Antonio's been saying, let's change spots. We're in the sheephead zone, but a lot of time the walleye hang out with the sheephead, but it looks like there's just too many sheephead here, eh?
Yep. Fun to catch, but.
Oh yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna make a move. Just before we were ready to move, I said to Antonio, one more cast before we change spots. It's probably another sheephead, but you never know. It is another sheephead. Okay. Oh boy, there he goes. Okay, that's our definite cue. We are definitely moving. All right. Look at that hook set. That's what I mean with the flexi-jigs. The hook sets are right up the snout, just like that, because that whole angle changes when you go to set the hook, and you got a nice positive hook set all the time. All right, we'll get this guy back in. All right, Antonio, we're gonna make a move. All right, let's make a move. New spot? I don't know, Antonio. New spot, first cast, sheephead.
Really?
I think today, folks, I think we're just gonna get sheephead today. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We are having fun. We're just not catching walleye. Although Antonio did catch that one walleye. There's another nice sheephead. Well, what do you think, Antonio? We're gonna keep fishing, I think, folks. We're gonna keep fishing. And you know what? We're gonna keep catching sheephead, but that's okay. We're having fun out here. If you get an opportunity, summers are short, get out there and enjoy it. It's late August right now. We're having a nice day out here. The winds have calmed down. It's just a gorgeous day. We're still having fun. I want to thank you ever so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. And as always, folks, until next time, good luck, good fishing.